Well, this is awkward. 10 minutes before the end of that game, bro, I think the stream would have gone completely differently. Completely differently. Casemiro was still unbooked. Olise hadn't scored the free kick of his life. Life as a United fan was hitting. 10 minutes later, it's back to reality, man. And I think this is almost what the title of this video should be. It's almost like back to reality, back to earth. Welcome, guys, to United State of Mind, the show where me and Cam obviously talk about all things Man United. And we just got finished watching Crystal Palace 1, Manchester United 1, with Olise and Palace scoring a last-minute dagger. That's the only way I can really explain it. And that, alongside with the Casemiro suspension this weekend, all I can say is it's a dagger. It's really a dagger into the hearts of United fans. We're going to talk about all things about the game, all things going forward for this weekend, because I think no matter what, it's still going to be a huge game. But Cam, what are you feeling right now? What's the emotions?
Hey, so it's mad, boy. It's mad. That goal, that was like dagger. You know what? To be fair, the Casemiro yellow card felt like that. It was like two moments of just two bam in your heart. But listen, these things happen, man. This is why you can't overlook any game, bro. You can't overlook any game. People are looking at the Arsenal game. You can't focus on that, bro. It's still a long way to go. Look, when it happened, I tweeted, there's still a long way to go. We need 3 points. Can't be crying about Casemiro. Get the points, cry later. You know what I'm trying to say? But look, double whammy, bro. I'm way more hurt about this not getting the result today. Do you know what I mean? I'm way more annoyed about that because the second half was poor in totality. It's not like, okay, cool, Olise scored bro. When it's not meant
a lifetime goal.
When it's not meant to be, it is not meant to be. Olise is doing that. I'm like, yeah, okay, safe. But this is what happens. Sometimes, like, what's the word? Like, you get what you deserve. That's what I want to say. You get what you deserve, and we deserve that today. We deserve that 100%, in my opinion. So, yeah, man, let's get into this.
How much do you credit today's performance to the fact that we've had however many games in such a short amount of time, and to the fact that, again, like I was saying last week or on Sunday against City or Saturday against City, while yes, I still think we have a great starting 11 for the most part, and while I think we have a great manager as well, the reality is, and the reason I don't think United will win the league this season, I've been consistent with that, is that you look throughout the rest of the team, there isn't much depth. United are one of those teams that relies on their starting 11 every single game. You could make the same argument about Arsenal, to be fair, if you want to play devil's advocate, but I think United, it's definitely hurting them because today, especially the second half, like you said, what are the words that kind of jump out at you? Lethargic, pedestrian, lazy, careless. How many times did they lose careless balls in the final third as well? In fact, the Casemiro yellow card comes from me, from Bruno being careless on the ball. And yeah, how much of today's performance, in particular the second half, comes from, as I said, just United's team is not ready in terms of the entire 23-man squad? Because an 11-man team doesn't win you the Premier League. A 23-man squad wins it for you.
Bro, it's right, isn't it? This is why. Listen, I was fuming when this fixture got put in because Wednesday away to Crystal Palace, 8 o'clock, is freezing. But you know what this type of game is gonna be like. One of those ones where you get in and you get out. And look what happens. This is the first game in about how many fixtures where Rashford wasn't at his best, and we don't get a result. He's been scoring all our goals. He's been scoring important goals. Been scoring all our goals, and today you don't get the result. But I still think you could have managed your way out of that. The way Man United played in the second half. Listen, we can only say, yeah, fixtures, whatever. Who knows? Because after the Arsenal game, we got a fixture on the Wednesday anyway, or the Tuesday. And it's a game every 3 days, so it's not. We can't complain about that. I guess it's going to happen. The problem is the performance, bro. If you are lethargic, if you are not up for it, then in the second half, control the game, bro. Just try and control the game. If you're going to try and preserve your legs, be smart about it. But Man United made it a back and forth, relieved retention of the ball, let them have the ball, and we're now defending way too much. Do you get where I'm coming from? So overall, I just don't think it was a good performance. The first half was okay. We controlled the game in the first half. The attack were poor. Rashford was poor. Weghorst had a few touches, but he was poor. and Anthony was atrocious. Do you know what I mean? So altogether, it just wasn't really coming. So it's one of those ones, man. You've got to do better. You've got to do better. And listen, this is why I have not said Manchester United are in a title race, bro. This is why people have been saying, speak with your chest, man. Speak with your chest. Duh, 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 duh. This is why I haven't said Man United are in a title race, bro. I said if Man United beat Palace and beat Arsenal, then officially you have to be in a title race. You're within 3 points. But now, when that, bruv, this is what I've said. Take every game at a time, one game at a time. You have to take one game at a time. And we did not get the result. So you can't be looking ahead. You can't be looking at the title, we're this, we're that. One game at a time. And look, people are thinking about Arsenal. Now, look, the importance of the Arsenal game is really now don't lose because, listen, factory reset for people. Back to the original aims for the start of the season, top 4 and a trophy. Factory reset. All right, if you go and beat Arsenal, Arsenal will win their game in hand and they'll still be 8 points clear. And then what you have to basically say, Man United are going to win every single game to the end of the season.
That's what I'm saying, Cam. For me, like that's why today's game, for example, right? People are saying, "Oh, this is it now. That's the title race over." Like, guys, I think this is what I said even on the stream. It's very alarming when you look at the table and you realize that before this game, United hadn't even played half of their fixtures for the season. We're in January, half the season is still left. So the reality is, unless you thought United were going to win every single game for the rest of the season, dropping points or winning or losing to Crystal Palace does not define United's season. Whether you thought they were going to win the league, whether you thought they were going to make the top 4, it's a long season. They could beat Palace, they could beat Arsenal. Theoretically, they could have beat Palace, they could beat Arsenal, and then lose their next 3 games. It's a very long season. So look, for me, I've always been hesitant to, like you say, that United are in a title race, just because I think, again, people forget where this team was last season. The reality was, and the expectation was for United to be in a top 6 battle. It wasn't to be in January tied on points with second place City. That is a wild dream that none of us expected to be at. It would have been an absolute pleasure to be able to go into this Arsenal game on the weekend second in the league with the potential to bring the deficit down to, I believe, 3. Obviously, Arsenal have a game in hand, but the reality is that's not where United is at this point in time. And I think, again, this is kind of a reality check for a lot of Man United fans that perhaps we're getting a little carried away. I know Arsenal fans, for example, are enjoying themselves in these comment sections. They're all sending you the one finger, but I think you guys honestly got a little more carried away with it than we did, to be honest with you. I see Turkish in the comments here. I'm going to read through some of these super chats, to be honest with you, just because there's a whole lot of them. People are going crazy with it. Ash says, if we're being real, you guys are in the title race. Ten Hag is doing a great job, but still a long way to go. Arsenal, when comfy, will dominate possession and are dangerous. Here's another thing about Arsenal, right? The reality is this is Arsenal's 4th season under the project of Mikel Arteta. This is their final form of their team, or to this point, this is really Arteta's main 11, his main team. Obviously, of course, you can always strengthen, but this is really Arsenal at their best. If we think of where Arsenal were their first season under Arteta, they were battling for mid-table. So I know people don't like hearing the word, but it is a process. You have to trust the project. And United to be where they are in their first season is again, a dream. I don't think anyone expected us to be here. This is just back to reality.
Listen, what happens is that it's the hope that kills. It's the hope that kills people. It's the hope that, you know what I mean? It's when you start dreaming. It's when you start thinking, oh, titles coming, blah, blah, blah. When that stuff starts to come, this is why a draw away to Palace feels like a dagger. It feels like, oh my God, it feels like a loss. But to be honest, Man United fans should be happy, bro. This is to the fact that you're in a position where a draw against Palace away is feeling like this, then just shows that the club is making progress. Arsenal's the next game. You got to try and get a result against them, and then you just got to move on from it. For me, listen, it's for me, it's just kind of confirming what I thought. We're not ready. We're not overachieving, I wouldn't say, but we're above our what we expected at the moment. And the same thing that you expected at the end of the season has just come later. You had a little moment of excitement, but now it's just about carrying on and securing what you need to secure. And I still want a trophy, and I still need to get Champions League football next season. So listen, I've said many times, the title race is Arsenal and City. That is the title race. We are the small horses in the background, bro.
What did Mourinho say that one year? There's
Little
there's
horse.
two horses in the race, and there's one that still needs some nurturing and needs some milk and needs to be
This is it.
carried along the way. Two horses and one little horse that maybe
That
next
needs milk. That still needs milk. That's what it is. That's what it is. The title race is Arsenal and City. The only thing is Arsenal just better not let United get points at the Emirates, because that will just halt them for their title race. But yeah, overall, bro, the performance wasn't good, man. The performance wasn't good. And that was the most annoying part about it. And what makes it worse is that Casemiro went and got booked. That makes it just a double whammy, bro. You had to
double jeopardy.
One of them had to like get one of them. Yeah, I mean, if it's booking, get the 3 points. The fact that get the I mean, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, you can't have both. Even if we drop points, then Casemiro still for next game would have been great. But listen, you got to deal with the cards you're dealt with. I'm definitely curious to hearing what Ten Hag says. After the game, he looked vexed, bro. He looked absolutely vexed, honestly, bro. So he felt it, man. He said it as well. He was saying exactly what I'm saying, game by game. So he's not going to get carried away. He's not going to get too low. He's not going to get too high. So I'm not concerned, man. Man United are still going to have a good season. So I'm not too worried, man. I'm not too worried. Let the big boys, Arsenal and City, do their thing, and United will come soon. Just not ready yet.
I see a lot of people unhappy with the fact that I compared United's project to Arsenal's and that Arsenal's team was way worse than United. That's not my point, guys. I'm not comparing Arteta to Ten Hag. I'm not comparing United to Arsenal. I know you guys get very self-conscious when it comes to this kind of stuff, but that's not my MO right here. All I'm saying is that any football project, whether it's Arsenal, whether it's even Manchester City, their first year under Pep. Do you remember what happened to them? Talking about 250 million pounds spent. They spent a lot of money their first window, but they still finished third or fourth. The reality is that a manager can only do so much in one season, whether they spend 250 million or however much Arteta spent in his first window. It's not to compare the two, but the reality is that any football manager coming into a new club, especially where they were, this United team last season, 6 months ago, it is a process. So although you guys might not want to compare the two, the reality is the manager needs time, and the team also needs time, because not only is Arsenal obviously a great manager and great players, but they've also had a lot of time together as a team. They've been building the squad for the 4-year process. They've been gelling together. The chemistry in this squad is arguably better than any other team in the league. So that's the reality, whether you guys want to hear it or not. Another super chat from Andrew says the season is all about on the pitch progress from last season. Champions League football would still be a good baseline. The cup would be a bonus. Still work to do. What do you think about that?
That's been my aim. That's the aim for the season. That's the aim for the season. Not one person can get me saying that Man United are in the title charge or we're going to win the league. So this is the exact thing that we have to do. Win a trophy. I need to win a trophy, bro. It's been too long. Win a trophy, whatever trophy it is, and get Champions League football and continue the progress, bro. Continue the progress. So that's all that's important for me. One thing that I am annoyed about, though, is, bro, I wanted to walk into that game, bro, against Arsenal as a real, like, feeling like an old school game. Do you know what I mean? Like an old school Arsenal. I hate the fact that it's taken a bit of sting out of that game. As a fan, I hate the fact that it's taken a bit of sting out of that game, honestly. But listen, as I said, you got to deal with the cards you're dealt with. And we need to get into some of the individual performances as well, because there's some poor performances out there.
Stinkers. Let's call it what it is, brother. Stinkers. You can call them poor performances to be on your PR thing. There's some howlers out there, and I'm definitely going to speak about some of them. We'll just go through a few of these still. Ash also says +7 goal difference isn't winning the title. Top 4 in a trophy. Yeah, there's definitely not enough goals in this team. That I agree with. Bassett, says Anthony's built like Spike Dudley, offers nothing. That's a good segue into the attack, Cam. Manchester United's attack. We've talked about it for the last few weeks, saying how dependent it is on Rashford. And Rashford, if we want to just focus on one player, didn't have a good game today. Did not have a good game. And it's a complete drop-off from his last few performances that he's had back to back. But that's okay, right? Rashford is not Neymar. He's not Messi. He's not Mbappe. We do not expect Rashford to be able to score you a goal every single week. Otherwise, we'd be talking about this guy in Ballon d'Or conversations. He was poor today, but you cannot expect, like we've been saying, Marcus Rashford to carry Man United's attack for 38 games a season. It's unrealistic. You got to look at the rest of this team, who's contributing, who's not contributing, and that for me is where the real criticism should go. One of them is Anthony. I think everyone knows where I sit on this guy. I keep saying I don't think he's ready. I don't think he's ready to be the guy for Man United. Rather, the expectation this first season should just be a contributing member. show up with goals, show up with assists, show up with performances. He's not doing that anywhere near consistently enough for a £100 million player. Sancho, we know, is coming back soon. Garnacho, I keep saying, is just a kid. Anything you get from Garnacho is a positive, but you can only really expect so much from an 18-year-old. And then Val Veghorst is the guy who comes in today. Everyone is talking about Val Veghorst. What kind of option can he bring United? Not the best debut that you can expect from a player. So really, this United attack, this isn't a United. This is an attack that can go 38 games against the likes of Arsenal's attack, against City's attack, with Erling Haaland outscoring probably United's entire attack on his own. That's the reality of the situation. That's the word I keep using, guys. Back to reality.
Listen, Palace. I mean, sorry, not Palace. Anthony. We've spoken about him so much. It's the same thing. He's not ready. He's not ready. And listen, this was my concerns before he started. I didn't gas up this signing. Spoke about his physicality. Said I'm kind of concerned about how he plays the game. Is he suited to the Premier League? And I said, I feel like this is going to be Ten Hag. This is going to be Ten Hag's first bust. And I don't want to put that on him because I don't want to write nobody off. But that's my major concern with all the signings. I like Casemiro. I like Eriksen. I like Malacia. I like whoever. But this one with Anthony, it's not moving me yet. It's not moving
see it,
me.
bro.
But
I really don't see it.
the thing is, he's having to play these games because of what happened with Sancho. Like, realistically, he could have been dropped, come in and out, come off the bench. But this whole Sancho situation has made him have to play basically every game. He's our only right winger. So he has to get on with it, really. There was times where I'm looking at him, he can't get us up the pitch. He can't get us up the pitch. Do you know what I mean? He can't take a man on. He comes in, he's not even coming in and running inside the pitch. Like, if he was one of them guys that cut in and he's, trying to work a shot, then I'll be like, okay, cool, he's trying to do something. But the problem is, he just cuts back, gives it to Wan-Bissaka, gives it to whoever the closest centre midfielder is. He's not a threat. And this is why he has 0 assists in the Premier League. I said it. You can ghost into certain areas and score a goal. You can do that. But with an assist, you're going to need to get in the right areas on the ball to create, to be a problem, to get down the line. And he just hasn't got that into his, in his locker. So that's why he's got 0 assists, bro. He's not in the right areas ever, Anthony. He's never in the right areas. So that's his issue. And he's going to need to work on that. Ten Hag's going to need to work on that with him because at the end of the day, you spent the money on him. So you're going to have to get the best out of him. It's his first season. I got to be a little
that,
bit.
though, Cam. I keep hearing first season. I feel like there's some players that you can just tell whether they have at least the intangibles to build off of that. Do they have the platform that you can see? Yeah, okay. Clearly, it's an issue of experience. Clearly, it's an issue that he needs to grow into his body. With Anthony, I don't see even a platform that we can really build off for this guy. Too one-footed, not threatening enough, not direct enough. If I say really what I want to say about this guy, I don't think he's it, man.
I hear what you're saying, and you're repeating what I've said. You're repeating what I've said, so it's not like I'm here saying. But in the first season, you have to give them a certain level of time. You have to. So that's the situation. That's what it's going to be. We've done this with other players at Man United. It can't just you can't just stop doing it now, should I say? So listen, if somebody told you 2 seasons ago or a season ago that Almiron is going to be moving like this, what would you have said?
Nah, you're right. Fair enough. You're right. I wouldn't have seen it with Almiron.
Told you that Almiron was going to be moving like this, you would have been laughing your head off, bro. So you got to give people time, but let's see. He has to kick on because at the end of the day, you need him this season. But what do you need him for? You need him to try and get what we're aiming for, top 4 trophies, whatever. Title race and that? Nah, he ain't ready for that.
He ain't ready. And I think a lot of these guys aren't ready. Like, to give Anthony credit, a lot of these guys are not ready for that kind of moment. We keep talking about Casemiro and Varane. They're the 2 winners in this team. Outside of that, there's not enough guys who, for me, are ready to challenge for a title. I see a lot of guys who I think have the potential to be there, but at the moment, they're a year or 2 off, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's lifting. Let me see, people bring in Ten Hag's quotes, please. If you don't see them, bring in Ten Hag's quotes. Definitely.
I'm seeing a few of them right now. For example, Ten Hag on Casemiro's yellow card. It was instinctive. He went for the ball, missed it, and it was a dangerous situation. He wanted to stop it, and that was his reaction.
That was exactly the type that you did not want him to be in. A loose ball, a nick pass. That is like the horror position, because if he lets him go and they go and score, it's like, bro, do you know what I mean? If they go and score, you're thinking now he's not focusing on the game because he's thinking about the next game. He had to do what he had to do. As we said, that you got to focus on this game. This was the biggest game. Beat City, get that out the way. This is the biggest game now. Then the next one, then the next one. He had to deal with it like it's a normal game. I could see in the match he was not pushing out, but he was avoiding certain duels because he was thinking about the game. But in that one, reaction, he had to do it.
Ten Hag also says, last time we beat Arsenal without Casemiro, now we have to do that again. Oi, big words. I mean, Ten Hag never turns down from a challenge, but boy, Arsenal at the weekend, which we will talk about a little later in the show, without Casemiro at the Emirates, that's a
thing
challenge,
stands,
bro.
man. You gotta go and get 3 points, bro.
Yeah.
You gotta go and get 3 points. You can cry about it. We can sit here and cry about it, or deal with it. What are we gonna do? Lose and be like, oh, because Casemiro. That's what Arsenal fans did. Oh, we lost because we haven't got Partey. They've been crying about it for 15 weeks. You get on with it. Do you know what I mean? You get on with it. Or you can cry about it, you lose, and then keep making noise for the next 15 weeks. Get on with it. So whoever plays, play. It's a squad at the end of the day. Do you know what I'm saying? So listen, that's how I see it. I'm not going to be talking about Casemiro. Of course, it's a big loss, but you're not going to hear me talking about it for the next 10 weeks like Arsenal fans. Impossible. Impossible.
Ali the Great with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Ali. I'm not going to lie, that's so unlucky, but parts of your fan base needed humbling. Rashford is becoming so selfish, wants to score every time he gets the ball. Was so bad today and broke down so many attacks. Look, I agree Rashford had a really poor game today, and there were times where, yeah, he probably should play with his head up more often. I still feel that Rashford has in his game the tendency to run into dark alleys and run into defenders' shins sometimes. But the reality is, again, you go back to the pressure that Rashford has on his shoulders to always be the guy scoring goals for Man United. At the end of the day, I remember Ronaldo, even 07, 08, 08, 09, he does this a lot. I'm not trying to compare Rashford to Ronaldo, obviously, but when you're the guy and you have all the expectation on your shoulders to score goals, you are going to be selfish. You are going to make stupid decisions. But when you score 5-6 goals in a row at home, you have the right to do that at that point.
Today, he was just forcing things. Today was a little bit more like last season, where he was just running into gaps and not doing the simple thing. The thing that's made Rashford very good this season is that he's been simple. He's been very simple with his actions. Whether I'm going to shoot, whether I'm going to pass, whether I'm going to make that run, he's been very straightforward with his actions. Today, he went back to getting on the ball and kind of doing silly things. And yeah, you might be right that in his mind, he might be thinking, I need to be the one to score the goal. That might be the case, but still, you still got to do better. Do you know what I mean? You still got to do better. And listen, everyone's allowed an off game, right? Rashford's been scoring how many? And then people are going to want to try and talk about Rashford now. Like, oh, you see what's right? Mate, he's been, what is it, 9 games in a row, 9 goals or something like that. He's going for a record or whatever it is. So realistically, this is the issue. If Rashford's having a bad game, who is going to turn up? Who is going to bail us out?
That's the reality.
And we just showed one Rashford bad game.
Curtains.
And no one's and you drop points.
Here's the thing too, right, Cam? We've seen of United this year. They've built, if you want to call it title charge, because I know Arsenal fans are trying to say don't run away now, but like if you want, whatever you want to call United's season this year, it's been built off the fact that they have a really strong defense, really good shape in the back, and that they're very hard to break down. The goals, whoever scores it, it's almost just like an added bonus on the top. Today, it's funny to think about, right? If United had won this game 1-0 today, we would have walked away saying professional performance.
No,
defense played well. I think they would have said that.
That was not a professional performance, bro. That was like Chelsea. That was like Chelsea's game. Chelsea v Palace.
Maybe professional is not the word then. Maybe the gritty performance, defended well, and they got the goal and got out of there. But the reality is, this is why, for example, if United now, let's say hypothetically, had a Harry Kane up front, they probably win that game today. No matter how poorly they played, United have played, for me, there have been a lot of games this season from United where they haven't been the best going forward, but their defense has been strong enough and they get 1 or 2 goals. If they have a killer up front, even the chance that Casemiro missed at the end, if they had a killer up front, they probably win that game. So for me, I look at this more.
It was this fan base that hyped Weghorst, not me, bro. And everyone was saying I'm being too harsh. Listen, you bring in average players, average things are gonna happen, bro. Do you know what I mean? People are telling me they understand why we did it. Let's see at Arsenal, because for me, he looked way off the pace.
Yeah.
Good touches here and there, but he looked way off the pace, very reactive to everything. So, listen, personally, I would not start Weghorst against Arsenal. That's me.
Back to
Because
Martial.
no, I mean, if Martial's fit, of course, but if not, you're gonna have to go with Rashford in the 9. I mean, Weghorst, I don't see what threat you're posing Arsenal, bro. I don't get that, bro. I don't know, but listen, people are gonna say I'm hating on the debutant in it, so I'm not gonna even speak on that too much. But overall, you bring in average players, average things are gonna happen.
What are your thoughts on Fred and Garnacho on the wall? Did you really pay attention to that, or is that just more so a case of brilliant free kick, nothing you can do?
Bro, look at that free kick, bro.
I'm with you.
I need to look at that again and again, because all I know, I saw that shit hit the bar, bro, and I was like,
yeah,
safe.
That's a free kick. Well,
Well,
it's one of those, right? You take it 50 times, you score one of them, bro. Like, charge to the game.
bro, has Olise scored a free kick in the Premier League?
Let us know in the chat, guys. I can't remember one off
Guys,
the top of
have
my
you
head.
guys seen, oh yeah, that celebration though. That
Yeah.
celebration. That
I'm
celebration.
that guy. It was hard. I can't lie. Hey, all I'm saying is that's a right winger that didn't cost 100 million pounds. It's looking pretty decent right now. But let me
35 million he was available in the summer, I swear.
No comment. Ash also says United's first 11 is still lacking. The attack stinks. Yeah, like we said, we already talked about that. Definitely agree, Ash. Ricks says, speak on the midfield. I think not having a ball carrier was our downfall. Crystal Palace found it easy to defending the passing lanes. That's another thing, right? All season we've talked about this. United don't have someone that can really pick up the ball in midfield and drive it forward himself without advancing the ball with a pass. Casemiro, that's not his game. Ericsson, we know that's not his game. And Bruno is just not that great of a dribbler. There's a reason why start of the season, Frankie de Jong was a huge target for Eric Ten Hag. There's a reason why going into next year, he's going to be after guys like Declan Rice, like Jude Bellingham, like Frankie probably again. That profile is severely lacking in United's game. You look at all the top teams in the world. They have that kind of midfielder in there that when passes aren't coming off, when the team isn't playing well, they can get on the ball and make things happen, drive the ball forward themselves, create space and chaos themselves. That hasn't had that all season. Do you think today was a huge issue in terms of not having that kind of player?
I mean, listen, we've lacked that though. There's no point of kind of highlighting as if we're missing someone that's already in the squad that can do that. Do you know what I mean? We've lacked that. We've lacked that, somebody that can get on the ball and run with it. We've always lacked that. We've lacked a midfield dribbler, or you want to say ball carrier. Yeah, you can say that, but that's always been something that we ain't had. But we knew that before going into the game. We knew that. It's not something that we didn't know going into the game. So you got, as I keep saying, you got to deal with these situations, bro. You've got to deal with these situations. And we just didn't. We just didn't deal with it, bro. We just didn't deal with it. So we've only got ourselves to blame in this fixture, bro. You've only got yourselves to blame, because realistically, okay, Olise's goal was fake. Did Palace have really clear-cut chances? They had that Edouard shot and the header from a corner. Two snap moments, really. But we we deserve it. We didn't perform well over the 90 minutes, bro. Simple as. So, yeah, man. I just think it is what it is. It's funny. I'm seeing people say Declan Rice. Listen, Arsenal are the ones that have him as number one priority. So you guys better start your deck as prop. Let me tell you that.
I see this guy saying Bellingham, Frankie, Rice, all completely different profiles. Only one is a controller. I'm not talking about controlling games, bro. I'm talking about someone who can get on the ball and carry the ball forward themselves. All three of them do that to a high level, like it or not. Whether you think they play the same way or not, they are all great midfielders when it comes to picking up the ball from deep, or even in the second phase, and carrying and driving the ball forward. That's what I meant when I was comparing them. We'll read some more just because you guys are going crazy with this. I think a lot of Arsenal fans are basking our downfall right now, Ken. Our Orange says 2 games at a time, naive to not take Casemiro off. Is that what they're doing now? 2 games at a time?
I have no idea what that is.
I think they're just trying to remix yours, bro. No thoughts.
I ain't got no thoughts on that. It's Turkish. He said that the other day.
Turkish is going of one game at a time. Turkey's been talking a lot in this stream. Anything you want to address with him?
Bruv, I'm gonna see Turkish on Friday anyway. I'm gonna see Turkish tomorrow on Friday. But I'm gonna be at AFTV tomorrow.
Mm.
And I should be with Turkish on Friday. Me and Turkish know what time it is. I've told Turkish from the jump. You
What you
are the
saying? He's
type
acting
of
up for the chat then.
he's acting up, man. You know, it's Turkish, man. He's showing off in front of his friends, man. You know them ones. I told Turkish, I tell him every single time you're the favorites. Act like the favorites. Do not let Man United go and get any points at the Emirates. If it do, that's poor. Don't let City start coming up in here. Arsenal haven't had that type of pressure before. They're not used to this type of situation. So Arsenal have to go and just deal with us.
Mm.
Really. Do you know what I mean? Because they're the best team in the country. Like I've said numerous times. So let's see. Let's see. But I'll see Turkish on Friday. I'll see him on Friday.
Prem Prodigy. Frustrating result and performance plus the Casemiro suspension tops it off. Hard to get upset when we're 9 wins, 1 draw, and 10, way ahead of schedule. That's what I'm saying, guys. Like, United are not going to win every single game in the season. Yes, they played absolutely dog shit today. There's no debating that. But 10 games, 9 wins, 1 draw. You take that, bro. We move. It happens. You're going to drop points eventually. It's just very disappointing at the moment that it comes right before a game that we were all really excited about. If this was some random game in March or February, it'd just be like, okay, we take a point at Selhurst Park. It's not the easiest place to go, and we move. But given the context, given the weekend game, I understand why people are disappointed. But I think looking at the bigger picture, guys, like he said, way ahead of schedule, I think is the bigger picture to take it. It's disappointing, but keep our heads up. Hopefully we get something away from Arsenal and we move, man. Ty says United are holding heat right now because of the way your fans have been speaking about the league leaders. Even Cam's predicted a win at the Emirates. Respect is due.
What's a prediction? It's a prediction. I still think we're going to get a result at the Emirates. I still think we could.
Even about
Casemiro lost.
Casemiro.
Yeah, Casemiro lost, but you got to deal with things, man. You got to deal with situations. So let's see. But the most important game was today, and we did not pass it. So regardless of what we do at the Emirates, bro, we can go and win at the Emirates. You can go and win 5-0 at the Emirates. Nothing is going to change because Arsenal will win their game in hand, and they'll be flying. So there's no point of thinking about that. The only way United could have entered any conversation of a title race or anything is by beating Arsenal and beating Crystal Palace. And United didn't do it. So it makes no difference to Man United's season, whatever happens at Emirates. It's really big for Arsenal. This is a massive game for Arsenal. It's a much bigger game for Arsenal than it is for us. Now it's much bigger. So they got to deal with it, innit?
100%. Guys, if I'm seeing this correctly, by the way, I believe that we're only 24 subscribers off of 17K. So if you guys are watching, we're still going to stay around for more comments and talk more about the game today because I don't think we've even gotten near to that. But we are only 24 away. So keep subscribing. Keep sharing this with all your boys. We're trying to grow this channel out as quickly as possible. Even Arsenal fans, if you're here laughing at us, man, look, we talk about Arsenal once in a while too. So make sure you guys subscribe. Big us up. Support says United lose at Arsenal. All of a sudden, top 4 is looking very sticky. You must win at the Emirates.
I trust United to get top 4. I don't have any trust in Spurs to be good enough. We'll see what happens with Newcastle and also Liverpool and Chelsea. Obviously, they're not at the races, so I don't expect them to be consistent enough. I still expect United to be consistent enough to get top 4. They must anyway. I'm not really concerned about that. So what Man United need to be doing is just making sure they don't be dropping out of them situations, them areas. I don't want to see Man United 6th and last 2-3 games of the season we're battling. Nah. So secure it and do what you need to do. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, as I said, you got to take it one game at a time, man. The people here, you know, they're trying to listen, it can't, you got to go and do that to other United fans. It can't work on me, bro. It cannot work on me because you can't catch me saying we're in the title race. So it is what it is.
What do you think about this? This is a comment that just came in. Ganful says, any comment on the scheduling of games? Arsenal having a week off, even with a game in hand. The Palace reschedule was, they low-key shagged us, bro. I can't lie, bro.
Wild. That was wild. And I've said it before. Before we even had City. So people can't say, you know, you're only saying that now. I said that is an absolute joke. I was on Big Six Extra yesterday. I said, most hated. What are the FA doing? And the worst thing is the FA put out an apology saying, sorry, guys. So what do you mean, sorry, guys, bro? You guys put it in the middle of Arsenal City, bro. That is ridiculous. But hey, you had 5 minutes to hold on. You had 5 minutes
At the
to
end of the
hold
day, it's on us, bro. Yeah, the blood's on our own hands. You're absolutely right. Ty says United are holding heat right now. We just read that one. Yep. Adam says number 21 needs to hold bench when Sancho returns. Here's the thing, guys. Sancho just came back from training. This is really the frustrating part about United's attack. Like, you can say Anthony needs to hold bench for Sancho, but Sancho's not here. And if Sancho's not here, the other option is an 18-year-old or a Langa. It goes back to what we said, man. The attack is just not good enough, bro. Like, whether you think there's not enough depth, not enough
we
good
ain't ready,
players.
man. We ain't ready, man. Baby horses.
Keep milking the horse, bro.
Next season, let's see what happens, man. Let him continue progressing. Let's get our takeover and we'll see what happens. But I'm happy with the progress, but we ain't ready. We ain't ready to win the league, people. We just gotta hold it. We ain't ready. But let's get a trophy though, and let's get top 4.
Yeah, that I think is fully reasonable. Orange, if Anthony's name was Nicolas Pepe, uncomfy convos. Yeah, we'll back off Anthony for a bit. Ibi says you had a mission tonight to make Sunday feel like an old classic. Your lads let the Prem down. I am so disappointed. 2 games at a time. I feel the same way, man. That's what's upsetting for me. Again, I don't think I've ever said on my Twitter, on the stream, United are going to win the league. I don't think I even said United are in a title race. For me, it's all about making us believe, making us feel something. This game, renew the classic, renew the derby, renew the rivalry. To now go into this game where it almost feels like just damage limitation, don't let Arsenal get too far ahead, make it uncomfortable for them. Bro, it would have been brilliant if we had entered this game second in the league with the opportunity to make it 3-point gap, again with a game in hand. That's what's disappointing for me.
I wanted it to feel like a proper damn fixture. That is my issue, bro. Proper old classic, as Ibi says, a proper old classic. It wouldn't be as much because we're probably not on that level yet, but it would have been a nice, man. It would have been like, like if we lose against Arsenal now, it's just like, yeah, fuck's sake. But if we had lost against Arsenal after beating Palace, like, bro, I would have been burned. I would have been like the whole match. I'll be shaking. Now this one, I'm kind of just like,
don't get Pam 4-0. That's really how I'm gonna feel, bro.
Whatever happens. You know what I mean? So it's like, it doesn't really make a difference to our season for me. Whatever happens anymore. Win, draw, loss, doesn't really make a difference to our season. So it's kind of taking the sting out of it. But let's see, man. Let's see. The only way it can change is if there's like a last minute dagger or something. Those are always just peak in it. Like today, those are always just peak. So
yeah,
let's see. That's the only way it can really change.
I did say this, right? I did say this even before the game. It would be very United the last few years to beat City and then drop points to Palace a few days later. It would also be very United of the past, the last few years, to drop points against Palace and then go to the Emirates and win a game. Do you remember when we beat City 2-0 at the Etihad? I think a week before that, we had dropped points or even lost in the week. I think it was against Palace where we dropped points. So it would be very United now to go to the Emirates and park the bus, get a 1-0 win, and get out of there. It'd be very United.
My United are booky, bro. My United are very booky like that. Do you know what I mean? The onus, as I said, is on Arsenal, innit? So Arsenal are going to come. Arsenal are going to try and dominate. Arsenal are going to come with and play their game. And United are going to do exactly what we did at the Emirates, bro. I mean, at Old Trafford. Going to try and soak up some pressure. You're going to play on the break and you're probably going to get a few chances out of it. But yeah, I mean, so just going to have to basically do that and see what happens. When you try and set up like that, Man United are usually the best at doing that. You know what I mean? So let's see. Listen, I wouldn't write it off. I would not write it off. Trust me.
Messi2Y says young Olise showed up, but Anthony is ghost. Barry Haynes, $5 super chat, says every signing Pep makes, it takes 1 year to get used to system. Cancelo, Ake, Grealish, etc. 6 months in with Anthony, man. Give him time and chill. K-Max says, when are we going to talk about Bruno's passing? God awful today.
That's factory reset, Bruno. But then again, it's hard to be super harsh on everyone because on individuals, as much as we speak about Anthony, whatever, because that's kind of continuous. But the Brunos, the Rashford, who else? Lissandro, whoever like that weren't at their normal standard. It's kind of like everyone everyone collectively were at your normal standard that you've been playing at to get Man United into this position. Bruno wasn't good today. He got his goal, but we've seen Bruno do that enough times. As I said, this is my favorite version of Bruno, despite him having way less goals and assists, because he just hasn't been moving as wild as that. Still kills some counter attacks and still kills some moves, but you have to take that with him. But today, overall, there was a point where, bro, I thought him and Ericsson were playing volleyball, bro. Like, I'm like, you man are passing short passes in the air, bro. Like, bro, like, what the ball was bouncing. I was like, yo, these men are moving mad. But we got to give a special mention to Wan-Bissaka as well. He turned up today.
Bro, that tackle at the end. Zaha threw on goal.
Don't forget before the goal as well against Zaha again. The guy was up to it on and off the ball. He still lacks, in my opinion, in certain actions when it comes to making the right pass or sticking a pass, but he was very, very good. So he's the only one that can walk away today and be like, hey, listen, I did my job. You know what I mean? You know, when you're looking around at everyone like, he's the only one.
Y'all.
He's got his thing. So he's the only one that can walk away with that. But as Adrian in the comments says here, 90% of the players today. 99% of the players. Fred's cameo was shocking.
Horrible.
Garnacho barely got on the ball. So, yeah.
Now, I remember Fergie had this one saying, it's like, to win football games, you need to have at least 4 or 5 players on top form. If you don't have that, you have 6 players or more, basically.
Just only have 3. You're going to have you can only carry 3 people. Or
yeah, maybe it was something like that. You can only carry 3 players to win a football game. Today, you like you said, 90%. What hope do you have? And the thing is, they almost got away with it, but that's the reality, right? Like, you can. I think Saeed is in the chat, and he said something similar, right? You can only keep getting away with these 1-0 wins for so long, bro. Eventually, the league is too strong. Eventually, someone is going to catch you out. And today is unfortunate because of the fashion that it happened, but if it didn't happen today, it might have happened at the weekend. It might have happened then. And it has to get into a rhythm and get into a style of play that they are dictating games every single time. They're playing the game at their own pace, at their discretion. And unfortunately, we're not at that point yet. Today, I think the second half, especially, like we keep talking about, we let Palace get into that game way too easily. And top teams, like title challengers, I don't think they do that.
I definitely think that was a penalty, though. I'm not going to lie.
Yes, I agree.
I think that was a penalty. I don't know. What do you guys think in the chat? Do you think that was a penalty? And don't be biased if you're not a Man United fan and blah, blah, blah. Just be honest. I do not think that was a penalty.
Sorry. John B goes, Sunday is going to be long.
No, sorry. I think that was a penalty. But yeah.
That could be true. Mateos with the $9.99 super chat says United fans were looking forward to the Arsenal game, yet they forgot they had to win this game against Palace. People forget midweek games against Palace is one of the hardest things to accomplish. We got bare Arsenal fans in the chat, though, man. Y'all flocked here, though.
No, that's solid facts, though. If Arsenal fan or not, that is solid facts. Some people saying rest man for the game, rest Casemiro.
Crazy.
People were looking too much at Arsenal, but listen, the players have to be locked in. The fans can say whatever they want. No point getting at the fans. Do you know what I mean? The fans ain't on the pitch making it happen. But it's true, exactly what Mateus is saying. People were looking ahead at Arsenal too much, man. Too much. You got to deal with it. I don't want to repeat myself, but it's one game at a time, bro. It's one game at a time.
Yeah, Arsenal, I don't know who sent you in here, man, because, boy, I'd say like 70% of the chat right now is Arsenal fans. Y'all are basking in our disappointment right now, but big up y'all, man. Fair enough. Have your moment. Chief Sosa says, Rashford back to selfish play, lost control today. Yeah, we talked about Rashford. Koo says, Eric Ten Hag a while back about Garnacho. Unlike many Premier League players, he can beat players one-on-one. As we rebuild, should we look for wide players in the market or try to build from the academy? Well, Ahmad and Pellistri, first of all, are not from the academy. Well, unless you want to consider them academy players because they play for the under 21s or whatever. If you say, like, let's focus more on them rather than go and buy like £100 million wingers. Look, at the end of the day, I know what United has been built on, and I understand how important youth is, but you look at the teams that we're competing against, you have to buy the best in class, man. So if the best in class come from your academy, so be it. But at the end of the day, I'm a big believer that you got to buy the best available. When you're competing against the likes of City, now Arsenal, Liverpool in the past, you got to buy the best in class.
You see the problem. You know what the problem is? No, I don't know what Ten Hag is going to do in that regards. I'll be honest. You know what I mean? Because winger wasn't something that we wanted to necessarily put on our transfer list this summer. We wanted a striker. I want 2 center midfielders. Okay, that's definitely what I want: a striker and 2 center midfielders for sure. Whatever else happens, we'll see. But you don't really want to be putting a winger on it. You've got Sancho. You got these guys have to rise it. Yeah, I mean they just have to rise it. So Ten Hag has got to get a change out of them. That's just the reality of the situation. He's got to get change out of them. So my thing is now, who's the midfield? I saw somebody ask a question there. Who is the midfield? Who is the midfield we're going to play against? Because I wouldn't have played Ericsson at the Emirates. So what are you going to do, Liaz?
It's tough now, bro, because I would have done again like Casemiro, Fred, Bruno. But now, bro, what? You're gonna if you play Fred on your own, you got to play McFred, bro. Like it might have to be McFred, bro. What do you want me to say? It might have to be McFred because Fred cannot sit by himself, bro. It can't happen.
It's peak. Man said Licha, bro. Licha's stiff, you know.
Licha Alessandro is not a DM, bro. He's played DM. The last time was against Chelsea in the Champions League like 3 years ago, bro. Y'all gotta let this go, man.
He's stiff anyway. He's not mobile like that. Thingy will cook him. Odegaard would cook him.
Cecil is saying, Cam, see you Sunday, brother.
We'll see you on Sunday, man. We'll see you on Sunday. See what happens. Don't listen. Last time I went up into the AFTV studios, they were yapping away in my ear. I was just remaining calm, and we walked away with the 3 points. Just don't let that happen again. Just don't let that happen again. But I'll be there tomorrow. Cecil, you gonna be there?
He said United are back. Oh, I cannot do McFred another game, bro. I can't lie, man. I know needs must or whatever the saying is, but I thought I'd seen the end of that, bro. I'm not trying to see any of that. No Jumper says, what game are you guys watching? Weghorst played well. I disagree, bro. I know Cam has his opinion on Weghorst. Me, I was slightly more optimistic about it, but I'll be honest. The first half, for example, bar a few nice touches. He laid the ball off sometimes, like a few times, but I thought he was completely off the pace. I think it's very obvious that he hasn't spent much time training with United because he looked lost for me a few times. And I understand it's his first game. Like I said, he's only trained with the team a few times, but for being objective here, that was not a great debut. That was not a great cameo.
Yeah, I mean, listen, let me not try and dry. Let me be nice. Let me be nice to a new signing in it. But you sign average players, you get average things. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
The worrying thing about, super chat from Alfred Ebenphobie says the worrying thing about Anthony is that even Olise is looking 20 times better.
Because he is better. It's the reality of the situation. He is better. So
that's concerning.
You know what I mean? He is.
I can't lie. That's very concerning for me. Ty says, big love, though. You guys at FTBL put in a shift. Guys, I think actually we might have just hit 17K. 17,003. And like I said, a few minutes ago, we were just at 25 off. So big up to all of you guys. Keep subscribing. Keep sharing this with everyone. We're trying to grow this channel as quickly as possible. I know I was joking with Arsenal fans, but this is a football channel, not just a Man United one. We're here almost every single day covering games. So if you guys love football channel, if you guys love just regular guys like us, just talking about the beautiful game, come through and subscribe, man. We're only getting bigger. United Ayub says, De Gea, I don't understand why he had to play today and they didn't. That could make the difference on Sunday. Casemiro is a big loss for us. Yeah, obviously. Nikos P says, we got checked today. Only way to remedy this is to go up and do a job on Arsenal. 100%. Chuds with the super chat says, literal glaring flashbacks to us last season. Not ready yet, but the optimism, the reconnection of the United fans has been done by Ten Hag. Agreed. Saeed also says, game plan was off second half. Can't keep doing this 1-0, etc. Can only help you for so long.
Yeah, and that's part of what we mean by the squad isn't ready.
Yeah.
Because the defense have been, you know what I mean? Sometimes one goal can be enough too, but you can always get yourself in a funny situation. Yeah, I mean, the defense have been kind of not carrying. It's been the defense and Rashford goals, pretty much. Do you know what I mean? So eventually one game is going to catch you out. And that was Palace. That was that bogey game today. But the thing is, look, in Man United, they don't need any motivation to get up for the next game. They'll get up. They're going to try and get up for it. So let's see. But it's seeing these type of games are the ones, man. These type of games are the ones that you can catch that you can slip at. I was confident to beat Manchester City. I just knew we were going to beat Manchester City. I thought we were going to get the win today, but these are the ones that you can slip. Do you know what I mean? The big games, it's easy to get up. It's easy to get up for those ones. So these are the ones, man. Players have got to be locked in 24/7, and they let it slip today, man. They let it slip. The performance just all round was just not up for it. Not up for it.
It's going to be a super dejected dressing room too, because I feel like even though none of these guys come out and say, "Oh, we're in a title race," I think Cam might have froze on us. Yeah, no, I know. Although none of these guys say, "Oh, we're in a title race" or "Our eyes are on the title," like I think deep down they were believing that something was cooking, and I definitely think they looked at Arsenal as a massive opportunity to put the league on notice that if Sunday was or Saturday wasn't a big enough, basically example that we're here, that would have been a huge opportunity, and I feel like they're definitely going to be humbled and disappointed in that locker room that they couldn't have done anything more. SK says the thing about the old days, the old days. Michael Michael Tohi, awful, but this United team are somehow sitting third, 6 clear of 5th, and still in all competitions. I'd have given anything for that. In August, we move. And then finally, Skitty says, would be such a joke. Anthony turns up. Yeah, definitely. And Skitty with the final super chat says, would be such jokes if Anthony turns up against Arsenal again. Laughing my ass off, they'd lose it. That's all the super chats we got. Cam, any last thoughts on this game? Any last points that you want to just leave to Arsenal fans and to any fans in this chat at the moment?
Mainly to the Man United fans. As I said, it's factory reset. It's factory reset. You know what I mean? You got to think, like that comment said, you got to think about perspective. It's factory reset. You know what I mean? Saeed, I see you in the chat, bro. Listen, I'm trying to tell you to calm down.
He was going crazy. I saw this guy on my TikTok talking about, we're here.
I was trying to say calm down, but listen, it's the reality check. Eye test, you got to always talk about what you see. And I hadn't seen enough for Manchester United to be title contenders. So listen, people, what is good though is that there's a potential chance that we're going to finish in the top 4 and there's an opportunity to win a trophy, and we're disappointed. Standards are raising. You know what I mean? In the mind, our expectations are raising, and that's good, because some of the things that we used to praise in the Ollie era or whatever was nonsense. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So at least the standards are starting to raise. People are trying to up their expectations, and that's good. But overall, you got to look at the squad, man. You got to look at the squad. You got to look at what we're doing, and we're still having to progress. Still got to get some deadwood out. We started the match with flipping Weghorst up front. I'm sorry, people. Like, can we deep it? We started at Manchester United. Started a football match with Weghorst up front. Like, let's
we go look back at that, like Liverpool starting. What is it? Cabal or whatever that guy's name was. Quebec.
Bro, I see it like.
Remember that guy?
No, I see it like just like the Ogalo situation. So listen, it is the same. It is what it is. And listen, we move. We go to the Emirates. They've got, listen, Arsenal fans. Arsenal have to win that game.
You must win.
Yeah, it's the reality. Do you know who's chasing them? Do you know who's behind them? It's Man City. They've been there. They've done that. So Arsenal have to go out there, make a statement, beat Manchester United, and it's as simple as that. Yeah, you know I mean, beat Manchester United. They have to do it. We've got nothing to lose anymore. The season doesn't change. Win or lose, it doesn't change Man United. Arsenal have to do it. They have to do it, and it's just the reality of the situation. So, boy, do not let us walk out of Emirates with 3 points. I'm telling you that now. That'll be a disaster for their season.
I can't lie.
Disaster.
I'm remembering several usernames in this chat if we beat you guys at the Emirates, bro. Do not let that happen. We might be back, maybe a match preview, maybe the day before, but definitely tomorrow, guys. We will be back with Final Whistle. Cam, I think your internet's going crazy right now, but I can't lie. It's near the end of the show, so we'll let it slide. But tomorrow we will be back for Final Whistle, Manchester City versus Spurs. We should have Bouvy from formerly the Kickoff. I know he's got his own thing now, but he will be our City representative. Tap and Tobe should be there later in the show as well. It's going to be a great episode as always. We'll see what happens now, because all of a sudden that City game for them probably looks completely different. They're probably going in there super invigorated. Spurs might look at that as, oh, United dropped points. Let's get back into that conversation. But make sure you guys check in for that. Make sure you guys stay subscribed. If you aren't subscribed already, make sure you do subscribe. Share this with all of your friends. We're growing super rapidly, but we can only do it with your help. Like, share, subscribe, notifications on. We'll see you when we see you. Peace.